Chitra, Chairman ARC, AOS, and very eminent cataract and refractive surgeon, to come up with a presentation.
Mr. Sunil, could you share mine? So subluxations can actually be quite a nightmare. And essentially, we need to plan what is the device which you're going to use. Because the context here is that you need to address bag stability. This was the case of a traumatic cataract. Things were going fine, excepting that when I did my first job, I noticed that area of corneal weakness must have been a pre-existent one. The iris was prolapsing. It was a small eye. There was an evidence of PI2 in this patient. So there were two reasons to be cautious: a lax bag and a small crowded eye. So I decided to place the CTR right the first go and use my second instrument to ensure that it was well into the bag fornices. I did one more thing, created a side port and positioned my iris hook to further give stability to the capsular bag, a vertical support. So, although the area of weakness was less, because it was a small crowded eye, I needed to be a little more careful. The next step was to bring down the phaco-parameters, a very gentle nuclear rotation, and to some extent, I needed to bring the nucleus forward and do a bit of a supracapsular phaco-emulsification, because we need to keep in mind that the posterior capsule is very lax in these eyes, and it is better to keep away from it instead of the capsule coming and trampolining into the phaco probe. Now was the part of the cortical stripping, which needs to be done tangentially, because we need to keep in mind that the cortex gets ensnared by the CTR. Well, now it was fine. All the cortex was gone. The posterior capsule was clear. This so the incision was enlarged, position, ensuring again that this haptic would be a further additional support to keep the bag stretched. As you can all see, the rhexis was well centered. I decided to take a suture because of the propensity of the iris to prolapse. And now that the wound well closed, I removed the iris hook, and all that was left was to remove the viscoelastic and then complete the case. There was a bit of a pigment dispersion, which I washed off. And then as I tried to bring the iris back, I noticed a vitreous strand, which meant that there was some vitreous which had prolapsed from the area of dialysis. So went ahead and did a focal vitrectomy, which pushed the vitreous further back, and the IOL more stable and settled in the capsular bag. So the first day, there was just a bit of a stride. The patient was quite fine, and you could see the rhexis overlap and a very stable line. So it was a very simple thing. These were some very essential basic steps which I wanted to convey when you're doing surgery in an early subluxation. Hello? No, you can't. You are not heard. And I think most of our audience are not able to see the video, as we can see from the messages. Mrs. Kunil, we need to address that.
There's some problem with the Zoom.
Yeah, I think most of them would advise all my audience to please go on to the Facebook and the YouTube link, because we have an array of good speakers to show different situations.
Is the Zoom problem sorted out now and still there?
Mr. Sunil?
There is an outage as of now, I believe, which is causing some issues. The YouTube and Facebook is working fine.
We have enough people logged on YouTube and Facebook?
No, but again,
Yes, a lot of numbers are there.
So, okay. Mr. Sunil, please turn off the audio from the video. It's interfering when the speaker is speaking. So just keep the audio off, please, of all the videos.
All presenters. For all presenters, please keep the audio off.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Any comments on Chitra's presentation?
I think it's a lovely presentation, Ramurthy. It's a beautiful video. She has shown how to manage a subluxation very nicely. Only thing is, I would use a capsular hook instead of iris hook.
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
because the capsule could actually rarely get ripped when you're using an iris hook. But at that point of time, that was available, and I knew that this was adequate for this small area of zonular dialysis.
But why did you want to put a multifocal lens in this patient?
This patient had asked for a multifocal lens, and he wanted a 3-piece more because the cost component was a little lesser for him. So, and this was to its advantage because the capsular bag, the Rexis, was well centered. It was a small dialysis, and believe me, a traumatic cataract, the zonulopathy is not a progressive zonulopathy. So it makes sense that you could get away with implanting a premium IOL in these cases too.
Mohan, I mean, even if this was the first eye of the patient, and if the person had asked for a multifocal intraocular lens, since the capsular bag appeared to be reasonably stable, endocapsular ring was there, it was a traumatic cataract where the zonulopathy is not progressive, then if you can get the lens inside the bag, then it would be a good idea. I would not even hesitate to put a single piece multifocal in this case, but since the patient had already asked for a 3-piece, we have, that has been put. And of course, that would act as the rigid haptics of the 3-piece lens would act as a further strut as far as the capsular bag support is concerned.
Just
I
one
think-
thing I would like to add here is
Yes.
that the iris hook that was used to support the capsule, it was removed after putting the IOL. That's what I could figure out. So maybe if you can remove it before putting the IOL, so that, you know, once you are putting the IOL in the bag, there is pressure on the.
Now you must be able to see me. It's working now. Yeah, it's working. Okay.
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was that the hook that was used to support the capsule was removed after putting the IOL. Maybe before putting the IOL, it could have been removed and the bag can be inflated with the viscoelastic and then put the IOL. Because when you are putting the multi-piece IOL, it pushes pressure on the bag and then it can rip the the margin.
Yeah, it is. But of course, the vitreous which came must have been there before. But I do understand your logic, what you're saying.
Yeah, once you use the iris hook for a capsule, don't keep too much of traction for too long a time.
Yes,
Once your work is over, just finish it off and take it off.
yes.
So
And
yeah.
another point I wanted to make in this was, there's a patient who had a shallow anterior chamber, and YAG iridotomy had been done earlier.
Oh.
And so there's also an association of zonular weakness with post-YAG iridotomy. So even though that might be an incidental finding, this is something we do well to keep in mind, that whenever we come up
No,
with these patients of angular coastal glaucoma, where a YAG iridotomy has been done, that it's possible that there could be a localized area of zonular weakness.
This is a traumatic cataract, no?
it was a traumatic cataract, but a YAG PI done, you would expect zonular weakness in that area of YAG PI. The zonular dialysis was in a different area.
Different area
That was because of the traumatic cataract,
itself.
the causative factor.
Good.
So, any other questions? Then we could go on
Yeah,
to
that's fine. Beautiful. Very nice presentation, Chitra.
Very nice.
Harshul, anything from the panelists have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Partha Biswas join back?
Yeah.
Join back.
Yes, sir.
Partha is there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we have your
Ma'am.
presentation, Partha?
Ma'am, Chitra ma'am, if you can quickly tell us about the sizing, which size of the endocapsular ring you'd like to use, and how do you decide that?
I would use the standard endocapsular ring in all situations. Only if it is a very high myope, you would like to use a larger endocapsular ring.
13 millimeter.
Yes.
Yeah.
12 millimeter normally.
Yes.
11 into 13 is the best for adults.
11, 13. Yeah.
11, 13 for the bigger myopes and 10, 12 for the all.
Yes.
And I think the take-home message in as against progressive and intraoperative and whatever you have, progressive like Marfan's and pseudoexfoliation, definitely you have to think at the end of the surgery to do some sort of anchor procedure. But while in case of traumatic or intraoperative, you can just put a CTR and that lens actually stays in the center.
That's right.
Yes.